intro.
So cool.
Welcome to Procrastination Podcast, where we talk about anime, life, and everything in between. My name is Matt,
I'm Robert.
I'm Alonzo.
and today we got a very interesting topic,
Yeah,
very
we do.
close to my heart. But before we get to that, how's everybody doing today?
Doing pretty good, man. You know? What about you, Alonzo?
That's all you got to say. Just doing pretty good. You ain't got nothing else to say.
I
Um,
wish today. I wish I had something more meaningful to say. I cut the grass and I felt like a man today, you know? It's like you ever do some physical labor and you're like, yeah, this is what my body was for. Okay. That's
I
it.
cut my grass for the first time earlier this week, and I was like, no, never again. I don't want to do this ever again. And I got a small yard.
Hey,
But,
you got a yard, man.
Hey,
It's
man.
impressive already. Holy crap, nigga. Anyway. Okay. Yeah, I mean, y'all know I worked today. And yes, it is Saturday and I worked. Terrible. It is nothing worse than when you go to work on an extremely nice day. And then your work has all these nice windows, right? Like my job where I work has so many fantastic views from the windows. And it overlooks the water too. Overlooks some like a body of water, not like the ocean or anything like that, but overlooks a body of water, right? And it looks so nice and beautiful, especially like I go to work very early, like at sunrise, right? Oh my gosh. You got the lights reflecting off the water. I mean, it's gorgeous, right? But then you realize, oh wait, I have to be here inside during this entire time. And it is just soul crushing every time you walk past the window for the rest of the day until you leave. Then it's good. But
You know what? All right. So that's why they put all the engineers in them cubes. Okay.
Right.
So we don't get to see the light of day.
My office has no windows. It could be beautiful as I don't know what outside. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know. Nothing about outside till it's
Soul crushing looking at my computer, man.
Right?
I mean, yeah. I mean, ain't no sunshine, ain't no hope. So they're like, you know what? That'll be all right. Yeah, I was like, no. If we don't give them any hope, then they won't know what they're missing.
Yeah, there you go. I don't know nothing about the weather outside until it starts leaking in from the to the inside.
Leaking. Oh my god.
Like, oh,
True fact. My office had a leak when I first got to office. And it was just leaking through the ceiling, and it just created brown spots and mold in there. And I was like, these fools really gave me this office to me with a leak in it. And I was so pissed.
Breathe all that shit in.
Breathe all that shit in. Breathe that shit till you die.
They said, you and the mold match. Y'all both brown. Y'all gotta be to stick together. You gotta stick together, man. No, that is cold blood. I mean, freak that office thing. Like, I'm about to switch with Jim across the row or whatever. Like,
right.
Right.
Like, there. I might as well sit in the cube. I'm gonna die in there.
Yeah. Right. You over there stuck in there and trapped with the fumes and ish. No, no. But anyway, okay. Speaking of sunshine, speaking of rays of hope, I I'm always I think I'm relatively optimistic. In general, I think at least I like to try and be. And I think that is kind of reflected in my I think we've talked about this in other podcasts in my kind of my hopes romantically too and what I kind of hope, expect and want. And I get a little bit of a hard time from these guys about this, but that is what today's all about. Is I'm just going to embrace that and we're going to be talking about my preferences in a woman. And these guys will be rating him based on their level of how reasonable they are. So, again, I'm a hopeful
we
guy.
gonna let you know. If it's insane, we gonna let you know. Like, no, okay? I'm sorry. If you limit it to 1 inch, all right? if you gonna limit her height to 1 inch, Matt, all right? That's too much. That's too much.
Look, I'm not that picky. I don't care anyone says I am not that picky. Everyone says this. Anyway, whatever. And everyone has a right to their own preferences So don't let anyone dictate that. Don't you settle. You're king or queen. Don't you settle. You know what I'm saying? We out here changing lives on Procrastination Podcast. So, but I mean, okay.
Don't you get on that Andrew Tate level, all right? This is how you treat. This is how you should be treating women. This is, you a king.
None of that.
I got the flush ready. Got that, and I got the cancer. We counseling you, Matt.
Nope.
Look, I didn't say any of that. I again, this podcast is not endorsed Andrew Tate. I think we said that before.
Yeah.
still don't. But like I said, this is all based on my preferences. I mean, feel free to chime in, anyone that wants to, on how you feel about them. I mean, I think, like I said, everyone has their own preferences. You like what you like. I didn't choose them. It just chose me. I don't know. But okay, without further ado, we'll start with the first one, and I guess I'll kind of go. The first one being the thing that starts at the top, and that's hair. So I think what I always say is for hair for women. So I really, really, really don't care that much about hair as much as people probably think. I do care. I do care about hair, but the main thing is I want your hair to be longer than mine. That's the main thing. I just don't want to pull up, go to my barber shop, look over the seat next to me, and I'm seeing you getting, a cleaner shape up than me. Like, oh my gosh, bro, I can't do that. Like, I just don't want.
That's a nice fade you got there.
Right. like, oh yeah, I'm next in that chair. Like, no, we can't have that. Like, I'm sorry. Like, again, if your hair is a little bit, a little longer, fine. That's fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, and again, this is not a mutually exclusive list. Lupita Nyong'o, she was bald. Fine. So this is not mutually exclusive list. I'm just saying my typical preferences, right? So that's typical preference. I will say I do lean towards girls that have like either longer hair, but especially, and this one I'm probably the most specific on is I need to know that your natural hair is longer than my hair, and ideally you have like natural curls or like waves or something like that in your hair. That is definitely like more of my preference, if anything. I'll say my heart skips a little beat, especially when the hair is black with a little curl away. Oh, mm-mm, mm-mm. Whew. So, yeah, I think that's kind of like the first one that I would say, and I don't think that's unreasonable. And again, it depends on your type. I think also long black hair is good too. It's not super long, even if it's just like shoulder length, a little bit below shoulder length, totally good. If that's like your natural hair and that's like it's your hair length, fine. But again, if you want to wear, extensions, wigs, weaves, whatever, like, and I know your natural hair is whatever it is, and I'm okay with it, totally fine. Do whatever you want. I just need to know. I need to know. Like, I just don't want to get hair fit. I don't want to get hair fished. Like, I just want to know what your real hair is like, and then do whatever you want. I don't, all more power to you.
So Alonso, let me hear your take on this first.
Man, talking about a woman's hair, didn't I get a Chris Rock slap in the face? Stop talking about short hair, G.I. Jane.
Where's Will Smith?
Motherfucking mouth.
But I don't think it's unreasonable. I guess you're not crazy, man, for the hair one. It's like if it's short. I guess you want it to have long hair. That's what you typically think when you think about women. It's long, beautiful hair. You said curly, so I mean something that's reasonable in that aspect. I will say I won't disrespect the girls with short hair. They got it going on too. Like you said, Lupita got it going on. Like my gosh, I still haven't seen Black Panther 2, but you've recommended me to see that, and she looks fire in it. So
yeah, she do.
But I think you're.
Spoiler alert: she ain't got short hair, and she ain't got.
Oh damn!
Don't. It's the same difference.
Yeah.
She looked good.
Don't
either
matter.
way. Don't matter.
But yeah, man, I would say you're being reasonable. That's my final verdict.
Okay. Look, I would just say I'll be devil's advocate here, and I think you're eliminating a good portion of women in general by you going short, curly, black hair. I'm just saying. No, not short. Long, curly, black hair. You're eliminating... Well, you're eliminating all white women. I'm just going to go ahead and say all white women are gone already.
I mean, that's a given.
We're probably going to talk about race later, but already gone. Which is okay. You know, it's okay. Everyone has their preferences. Like you said, that's not crazy. I would give you that. It's not crazy, but hey, if you're going to open yourself to dating all women and you go, most women no. Already on your number one preference, like
again,
bro,
I did say
how limiting are you going to get? That's what I'm thinking. You know,
I did say that again, if your natural hair is like long black hair, it's still good. Like Latino girls, like some white girls, especially typically the ones that are from like again Middle Eastern girls, like North African girls, like Moroccan. So yeah, their hair is going to be like black, and it's going to be like not so curly all the time. Some will be curly, some do have still curly hair, but that's still good. I don't know. It's like for me, I'll say like especially black hair. Like I'm not saying it would be solely black hair or if you have your hair dyed or whatever, but like especially, and this is like I don't know why. This is just like me in my own like self dissection of my women I've been attracted to. Even ones that have been like other races outside of black, outside of like Hispanic, like they have black hair. Like that's been like the commonality always. So I'm like, man, why do I think she's more attractive than this person? It's like black hair. That's all. I don't know why, but it has. I don't know. The black hair, man. Whew, just do something. Do something for me.
I get it.
Okay. Moving on down the list. So I think this is probably one of the more important, is that you should have a healthy lifestyle. Like, because y'all know I'm a very like health conscious guy, obviously work in health. And then like, I'm like myself try and live by that because I don't like being a hypocrite in general. But especially just like set the example for people I work with and the patients I work with and my family and stuff like that too. So it's like, that's important for me. And obviously for myself, like I like being healthy, feeling healthy, all that good stuff. So like that's important for me, like working out, eating right. Doesn't mean all the freaking time. Like obviously still have cheat days and like still have days where you go out to eat and eat fatty stuff, eat fried stuff. What I'm still from the South. I'm gonna still eat my fried chicken. I'm gonna still eat my collards. I'm gonna still eat like my neck bones, all that stuff. Like, but it's all about moderation, whatever, control and all that. So, but like, yeah, so it's just like someone that's living that same lifestyle. And I think including that is definitely like not smoking, especially like tobacco stuff. Like, dude, I can't handle smoke. Like my nostrils, like my body, like it'd be burning my throat just a second hand. I'd just be like I'd be struggling, like just walking past someone smoking. Like I can't be around somebody that does that 24/7. And that smell is like one of the most unappealing smells that can be on someone. Like that on someone's clothes is just like I can't hug you, I can't touch you. We just gonna have to hit the elbow like I can't, dude. That smell is disgusting, dude. So I just can't do it. Again, that's not a knock to anyone that does it. I understand, do you. But like for me, like I can't have somebody derailing my own lifestyle and my good habits with what would I consider to be bad habits and derailing my healthy lifestyle and the way I'm trying to be. So that's like super important for me. And yeah.
Yeah, Alonso, let me hear your take on this one.
Well, I'm in the same mindset as Matt, but it's different for me. I'm unhealthy. I'm built like a dump truck. So
that's a lot of different meanings, my friend.
But I don't smoke, but I live an unhealthy lifestyle. Therefore, I feel like I shouldn't restrict myself to somebody who lives only a healthy lifestyle. I feel like that's kind of being hypocritical in a way. So I see where Matt's coming from. He lives a healthy lifestyle. He may have his cheat days here or there, but he keeps himself in shape. So I think he has the right to want somebody who also lives a healthy lifestyle. As far as smoker goes, I'll say something controversial. Cigarette smokers should date only other cigarette smokers because I cannot deal with that. The fuck you mean with that, man? Like, get out of here. Cigarettes is the worst thing. You people.
It's just saying your own. You need a separation.
Right. There we go. First cancelable event today. I said it.
Oh no. I'm gonna do good today.
But nah, Matt's being reasonable there. I think if he wants somebody healthy, if he keeps up with this healthy lifestyle, then he deserves that.
Right. I again, I'll be the devil's advocate here, and I'd say, what do you think is the percent of women that are dedicated to this healthy lifestyle that you're picturing? I'm just saying, again, we're limiting the scope here so much, man. I'm like, damn, you done took out all white women, they gone. Now you're like, okay. All long, straight-haired girls are gone, and then now all the unhealthy people. Gosh, I mean, that has to be a dime a dozen. It has to be. But
it can't be.
Maybe you're right here. And, maybe as we grow older, more people should be living more healthy lifestyles, right? Like, I mean, you're gonna be thinking about your longevity once you get older, right? but still, like, I don't know. I'm like, I'm with Alonso when it comes to like living a pretty unhealthy lifestyle. I don't like I don't feel like I can indulge too much, but in terms of like working out and all that stuff, like I don't really have any like strict schedule for that stuff. So I'm like, yeah, is that something that I would find like attractive? Is that something that I would find like a necessity? Like, definitely not, right? It's like, I mean, but is that something that would be a hard no? I mean, again, I agree in terms of that. Well, like, I'm like, yeah. If they are healthy, that's just a bonus, right? That's just great, right? But
I mean, I think okay, and I think it's again, like to both of y'all's point. I think for me, it's more like don't introduce bad habits into my life.
Right.
Like if that's already my habit, it's fine, whatever. But like, don't introduce bad habits into my life or like derail my lifestyle. Like I'm a straight meat eater and you're a vegan, and I'm like, okay, cool, you're a vegan, but then you try to turn me vegan. No. We ain't doing that. We eat meat out here. We African. Like we eat meat. We eat our vegetables. We eat meat too. Like so, I'm like, and y'all don't take that the wrong way neither. We eat proteins. Proteins.
Number sausage in here.
Oh Lord. Oh Lord, no.
Every time you take this so much.
Good.
Okay, but that's my point. Like, right. and I'll kind of preface this by saying, like, I think people kind of, when I say this, sometimes they think I'm talking about like a specific body type too, and like healthy to me is not a body type. I want to make that really clear. You can be super thin or like even super like fit and not necessarily be healthy. So I want to make that distinction too. Like, again, like I probably would lean towards a girl that's a little bit thinner, but now do I want a girl that's straight up skinny? No. Like, has some thickness. You know what I'm saying? Again, I'm African. Like our women in general, they got some skinny. Okay, but they not, typically African men, we want some thickness in our women. That's in our blood. That's in our genes. I'm sorry. I mean, and if I'm speaking for all African men, I'm sorry, but every African man I've talked to, thinks the same way. So I'm just speaking for us as the ones I know. So this doesn't apply to you. I'm sorry, but for majority of guys, yeah. But I mean, yeah, like definitely curves, all that good stuff. Like who doesn't want curves? Like I'm definitely a butt guy. So like, yeah, like ideally you got something back there. And I'm like, again, I don't skip leg day. So I got a little leg, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I can't be out here, looking better than you in the shorts. Like that's nah, man. Come on. You gotta beat me out. Like that's my thing. Like, and again, don't like, that's all I'm saying. I'm not putting any specific person. Like I understand not every girl's gonna look like a Kim K or Nicki Minaj, because that is ridiculous. That's just not no. That's not it. That's not my goals. But like I said, healthy. Got some thickness to you. Again, not bringing issues and bad habits in my life, and we good. Now, if again, and I'm not for changing nobody else either. So if they want to come in and have me introduce some of the things that I do in my life that I think are good, then that's fine. I'm fine with doing that. But I'm not going to come in and be like, oh, you do this, this, and this. You need to change this, this, and this. Straight out from a relationship or anything like that. That's not how I want to do things. So like, again, like that's why it's kind of just like a thing for me. It's like prevention, like prevents an issue before it becomes an issue, sort of thing. So it's like you get into a relationship. You got totally different lifestyles. It's going to eventually come to a head. And that's just preventing an issue by not even letting it get to that. Not saying we can't be cool, not saying we can't be friends or whatever, but a serious like relationship, probably not gonna work.
Yeah, I think you're, I think one part you're kind of talking about like a, kind of like a classical healthy, living kind of thing. It's like you're not, you're not trying to do anything crazy, right? You're not bodybuilding, right? You're just like
No.
doing your normal health stuff, right? It that's when you're usually still gonna get, some amount of weight, not super skinny, right? And
Right.
and then, well, I was gonna say something else, but I forgot it, so it's fine. Pass it. Anyways, I agree with that. In general, like yeah. Um, but I still think, I mean, I assume we're gonna talk about body type a little bit, but like, I mean, your thickness preference again is gonna be you got a small scope there.
I mean,
too.
again, let's just go into it because I may as well just segue into it from this because I mean I think to probably and I'll say I won't even say this for most girls I think especially as they get older and stuff you're probably going to have to get a certain level of a healthy living to maintain the body type that I like the most. Which obviously I think okay, let's just be real. 99% of guys, I don't want to say 99%, I don't know the percentage, but I think majority of guys prefer an hourglass figure in a girl, right? Like that's not far fetched. Like, and I think everyone kind of knows that. Um, so I'll say, for me, of course, always hourglass is great, wonderful. Um, Pear, short of shape is also wonderful because I'm not really a breast guy. Like I'm a butt guy, so you ain't got to have no double D's, whatever. That's neither here nor there. If they're great, cool. If not, I'll be okay. We'll make it work. Little teeth, little chest need love too. Like all need love. You know what I'm saying? And little booties need love too. It's just hard for me to love them. That's all. But but yeah, I mean, again, obviously, like yeah, a girl's in shape. Has a little bit like of a figure, and like yeah, and I mean, I don't think like I said, it's not like a hard set, It's kind of like, okay, would I date a girl that has like other things I really like and a personality I really like that's kind of thin, but she has like all these other things just because she doesn't have like a really big butt or something like that. Am I just gonna not date her? No. That I probably wouldn't do that. Actually, I can guarantee I wouldn't do that. But again, it's just like the preferences are kind of interchangeable, for the most part. I think, the big ones, I think, we'll kind of get into it, but at the end. But yeah, there's a couple ones that are more important than others, and this one's probably like it's a strong preference, but not as strong as some of the other more important things. But y'all can't tell me y'all want somebody, y'all would ideally have a girl that's just no thickness. Don't tell me that.
Yeah,
hey man.
You go ahead.
Don't lump me in with you. I'll take them. I'll take whatever I can get. You know what I'm saying? I said this in the other episode. I'm not a prize catch. So if I can get me one of them, let me go. I may be a butt guy. You're a butt guy too. That deserves a round of applause. A round of applause for the butt. You know, the booty got it going on, big or small. I love them all. But yeah, man. If I'll take them any way I can get. Pear shape, hourglass shape, twigs. You know, I'll take them.
Twigs. Not the twigs.
Like you know, I agree. I agree with that. I agree with what Alonzo's saying. I think there's you know, I don't know. It depends. It definitely depends because like there's just like you said, Matt. There's a checklist, and it's like, all right, if you have everything on the checklist, then no question, right? But then if you have you have a butt, but you don't have a chest, okay, that's not that's that's okay too. But to say that like we're not like with some of these features, I think, and even like saying like what you will think about later is like, is that something that's really going to matter in terms of like the long term? Obviously not, right? So then that's why again it doesn't become like a super preference, right? It's like okay, I mean,
right,
does her brain work though? It's like I think that's the most important thing. But anyways, so I don't think you're too crazy for that one, but good. I think that's also like kind of like societal norm kind of thing too. It's like everyone's looking for this type of figure, so good luck.
I mean, okay, I gotta preface this. First off, this is before. Okay, everybody, black guys been liking booty since before booty was popular. Like let's not get twisted. Black African, we've been on that. That's just what we've been on. But but I'll say that like for me, particularly for me, like I said, I'm a dude. I don't skip leg day. I played soccer my whole life. Like my legs, my thighs, my butt, I got some. So I can't be out here like out thickening my woman. Like that's a problem, dude. Like that's a problem, dude. Like that's a whole other thing. Like we out here like no. I ain't even gonna say I was gonna say like we out here like her jeans is loose on me. Like we can't be doing that. Like come on, bro. Like no, bro. It's supposed to be called boyfriend jeans, not girlfriend jeans. They can't be rocking it like that. Like no. Like that's what I'm saying.
I feel like all women are beautiful. That's all I'm gonna say.
Absolutely. We're not discussing that. We're discussing preferences. It's preferences. You know what I'm saying? Like this is not to say that again. To one guy, they may say looking at me like I'm crazy for all this stuff, but that's just for me. It's just for me. That's all I'm saying.
I think that this is like a common theme here, where you're just like, look at me. You got to be different than me. Your hair got to be longer than my hair, all right? Your ass got to be bigger than my ass, all right? It's that easy.
I mean, anybody trying to look at themselves. You know what I'm saying? You over there
it's like, all right,
on a date with you?
You're right. You look oddly similar, all right? I don't know if this is going to work.
I am not Mickey and Minnie make it work.
I am not very attracted to myself, so so that's not going to work.
Man,
that's funny.
Mickey and Minnie. Like the most asinine cartoon character possible.
That's a fantasy, That's a fantasy.
Mickey been in how many universes? That man running away from his marriage. Get the freak out of here. And the Kingdom Hearts out here just fighting. It's like the freak. Man is
talking about fantasy. Wasn't Matt talking about what's the girl name from Lilo and Stitch earlier today?
Nani?
How thick she was. Nani the fuck out of here.
Hey, in fairness to what that was Griffey, and I just simply agreed with his statement. Don't be out here de-thickening our cartoon waifus. That's all I'm saying.
I mean that's a good point though. Imagine they make a live action fucking Incredibles, and Miss Incredible ain't got the thickness, you know.
Trouble, bro.
Like,
Trouble.
bruh, get her.
They gonna
out.
riot.
Get her.
They gonna riot, bro. Dude is gonna be livid out here, man. They gonna be stepping up this like, hey yo, hey yo, don't ruin this for me. I've been dreaming about this since I was 10. Like, dude's gonna be out here hurt. Like, no. I'm just saying. But okay. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is everyone has their preferences when it comes to all these things. Because like I said, I know guys that have told me, like, oh, that girl's butt's too big. I'm like, okay. That's you. That's you or whatever,
You
or
think
she's
there
too
is a too
skinny.
big though?
Yes. Absolutely there is. 100%. There's levels to everything, Robert. There's levels to everything. But I ain't going to offend nobody by giving examples. But I'll aid again. I'm gonna say this. Ideally natural. I like natural. You know what I'm saying? If you get a BBL, and it's a good job or whatever, and I can't tell, it is what it is. We together and you cool. I don't care, whatever. But like, you got that junk that look like obviously ain't your junk looking like a saggy diaper or some ish. Bruh, I can't do nothing with that. Like, bruh, you can't be out here being seen with that. No, I'm playing. But I'm just saying it's not a good look. And I think, at a certain point, it's like you're just looking for attention. And I don't really like women that are just looking for attention. You know what I'm saying? Like, just looking for attention. And I'm sure like most women wouldn't want a guy that's out here just like trying to do whatever he can to just get attention from all these other women. But yeah. But I think something you said will help me segue to this next one. And you said, like, we're saying all these things, but like in the long term, body type is not going to be as important. The important thing is that you have a brain. And yes, ding, 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 you're 100% right. That is important. And that's why it's on my list. I'm a man that has priorities. And absolutely, she needs to be.
This is fourth on his list, or whatever the fuck, right?
Hey, this is in no particular order. If anything, it's.
I work last weekend. Maybe she can have a brain if she wants that.
It's all about balance, Robert. It's all about balance. No, it's not the order. It's not in any particular order. If anything, it's kind of increasing in importance. But not probably still not because I'm kind of out of order. But I think really gotta have like a level of intelligence, and this is not correlated to degrees. It's not correlated to your job title or anything like that. To be honest, it's correlated to your actual like level of intelligence emotionally, and like obviously like just your mental social intelligence. So like I don't want to sit here and try to have a conversation to you about my day, or how, or the complicated things I may or may not be working through or whatever. And then you're just like, well, I'm sorry about that, or whatever, or just have like a generic response. I want someone that's going to actually like receive what I'm saying, and kind of think of like their own individualized answers, responses. Sometimes we feel like we've talked to people and they just like their responses are almost like just, I won't say robotic, but like almost predetermined responses. Like, and I think we've already talked about this with certain things, but like even with stuff like that, like, oh, someone's coming to you with something kind of, difficult or semi uncomfortable. And then it's like, oh, I already have this program to be like, oh, I'm sorry going through that, or it's a tough time, or, let's whatever, we'll get through it, or something like that. And it's like, okay, that's great. But like, can you use your head and your emotional intelligence to really like say like, something that you think would really like make the situation better? Or even if we're in a situation where, again, I just want to have like a conversation about current events or stuff going on in the world, like, do you have viewpoints? Do you have like preferences or things that you feel like, I don't even say things you feel strongly about, but just that you can think critically about things. Like you can have an opinion and be like, okay, like this is how I feel about this, and this, not just, okay, I'm just gonna be oblivious to everything outside of like me, like that kind of thing. So I think those sorts of things are important. And then, like I said, just like in general, having a general level of intelligence. Like I don't want to feel like I'm raising a child when I'm
Mm.
dating someone. Like I want to feel like okay, like this person's capable. If I need to like leave them in charge of like, let's say we're sharing a place or something like that. If I need to leave them in charge of something, that I can trust them with that. Like they have like general competency and intelligence. But and I know this probably sounds like kind of condescending, but you'd be surprised. So
Mm.
yes.
I think this is probably the first one where I'm like, you know what? Not crazy. It's pretty standard thing there. No, I mean like
Standard is it though?
honestly, I think some of that what you're kind of explaining is just like can are they going to be a human here in this situation, or are they going to be a robot, right? It's like yeah. Obviously, you want to date a human being, yeah,
Right,
right.
right.
But there are some more parts where it really is going to depend on that person, whether they can make a connection and really like bring something you know worthwhile to say in response. So yeah, that is different and probably also depends on the situation. But yeah, I think in terms of intelligence, when you end up going like okay, I'm gonna present something that of my thought of like maybe my job or maybe something else, right? And like, are they going to respond in a way that's like, I don't understand what you're saying and I don't want to talk about it, right? Or are they going to respond in some way it's like, oh well, can you and again, that doesn't really have to mean they're in some level of intelligence, but they're able to say like, can like, I want to be part of this conversation. Can it continue if you change something about it, right? So I was thinking the opposite, and we had like Alonso and Jordan were talking about this earlier and saying like the opposite question, right? It's like, could you date someone that is much more intelligent than you, or at least in terms of like the scholastic version of intelligence, right? Like book smart more than you, right? And it's like, I think that sorry for being long-winded here, but I think
Mm.
that it is going to cause an issue maybe later in time. Well, unless they personally receive it in a good way. I think that there's times where they could be trying to talk to you about something that's normal in their brain, but it's not normal in your brain. So then you go about having a conversation. You're like, I'm sorry, I cannot process it. I'm sorry, and they're just like, oh, you're just you do the thing like, can you dumb it down a little bit? And if their response is no, then that's a problem, right? So again, like imagine yourself on the other end though. Is also what I'm kind of saying too, right? It's like, but Alonso, like being who I still think, right, is the probably the biggest brain out of our whole group, right?
Whether he wants to, whether he
No.
likes it or not.
Whether he wants to accept it or not,
He
this
wants it or
man
not.
this man floated through fucking college. Floated.
I failed upward. I put in the work in college.
Falling with
Y'all
style.
didn't see it, but I put in the work in college. Everything else has been falling in style, like you said. But
Yeah.
Matt, in your line of work, I'm not going to say it, but
Thank you.
how would you want somebody to respond if you had a hard day, like emotionally intelligence wise?
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to preface it by like the intelligence is not. I mean, we're talking about kind of base level intelligence, as well. Like, well, I won't even say base level, but just like that's why I wanted to preface by saying like emotional intelligence because I feel like that's more of what I'm talking about is people that like understand situations, understand when not to do certain things, when certain things aren't appropriate. Like, okay, maybe she is upset that I didn't do something, at home or whatever. Let's say we're living together, whatever. But you see that I've had, a bad day or whatever. So you're like, okay, so not the time to bring this up, or whatever, and that sort of thing. So, but to answer your question, Alonzo, like me personally, I realized that my line of work it's very specialized in the way of like that you'd have to think about it and the vernacular that we use. So I understand like how to dumb it down because we have to do it anyway for the part as part of the job. At least you should as part of the job. So like, and generally, there's not like specific things are that if it's like a work issue that are it's like interactions or like something like that. So it's not it's generally like personal things. It's not necessarily work related things that I would need to kind of go into detail about. Sometimes it is, but usually not. But I like I said, I just think what you want is like an expression of acknowledgement of like, okay, yeah, I can see why that's like annoying or whatever, or bothers you or whatever. And then like, for me personally, some people just want someone to listen, you know. And so for me, I think that's fine. If you're a person that you're just a listener and like you're just gonna like but you're responding, you're saying that you're paying attention, showing you're paying attention, you're receiving it, that's great. But if you want to also be a person that does like offer like a solution or a way to cheer me up or something like that, that's also good. Like, but like show me that you're receiving what I'm saying, and then like do that. Like don't just brush it aside as like whatever. Like let's go and eat dinner or whatever. Which again, sometimes that is the way of like helping people cope. And like if you like got me something special or whatever, that's cool. Or if we had already like made plans and was like, okay, like let's not ruin the whole night. And like, yeah, you're right. Let's not ruin the whole night. Let's go or whatever. Like so stuff like that. Yeah, like just showing like like I said, you receive it, you understand it, and then like go on your whatever your way or your method is of kind of comfort slash console slash problem solving if it's a problem.
Let's say you like you also that's something that you learn, through the relationship, but also being in multiple relationships. You probably learn how to like, oh, okay, well, is this person fishing for and we've actually talked about this, Matt, but is this person fishing for an answer or do they want to vent, right? And like being able to have the emotional intelligence or just establishing that with your partner is paramount, right? So like,
Yeah.
all right, well now I know that in these hard days when Matt comes home, don't just be like, well, you did this wrong and this is why you had a bad day, right? That's not it's like, well, that's
Typically
probably...
that doesn't work, people. Just so you know. Just so you know. Typically that's
Right.
not the answer.
Right.
Don't tell me I did something wrong, or anyone.
Right.
Especially no.
But I'm saying in general, it's like, all right, he wasn't fishing for in this case, he was just venting, right? He just wants emotional support in this time, right? Like, okay, but yeah, I mean, well, overall, Alonso, you'd say normal or insane?
So I'm kind of leaning towards insane. Like, I don't know. Intelligence is kind of tricky. Like, in the world we live in, like, I myself want somebody smarter than me, but then again, how are they going to be happy? Like, in this world, if you keep up with current events, if you're really smart and know what's going on, have an opinion on everything, you're not going to be a happy person. And then emotional intelligence, like, it's going to be hard to really try to have something to say each and every time. Like, I don't know. That's just coming from me. I'm not an emotionally intelligent person. I have a hard time saying what I want to say. I mostly just listen. I think I'm on the spectrum. Not to offend anybody, but I'm just going to say that. But I don't think it's fair to say to anybody, hey, you got to be this smart to be with me or anything like that. It's a hard world out there, and intelligence comes in many different flavors. So I feel like you can come as you are and make things work.
Yeah.
Hey, nothing
Robert?
more to say there. That puts the nail in the coffin.
Cancer.
Like,
It's for cancer.
Yeah. I mean, and like I said before, I thought this was like one of the most normal ones you had, but now hearing that back, it's like, well, yeah, I mean, honestly, that's something you can work at as a couple to have, emotional connection that gives you this emotional knowledge. But like, yeah,
Yeah. I agree. I do
if
agree with that. That's for sure. And I didn't even think about it like that, to be honest. Like,
mm,
but I will say, yeah, like myself, I for sure my emotional intelligence grew through the relationships that I've had for sure. So it can for sure change. And that's why again, it's I mean, it's a preference, but I think it's like it's a baseline sort of you have to at least want to, you know?
mm,
Like people have to want to do that for you.
right,
And I think that I guess that's more what I'm saying is like, you have to want to be, a certain like you're like someone's confidant, to be someone's comfort. You're not just gonna do it by accident, you know. So if they don't, if they're not really interested in getting to be that for you, they're not gonna ever grow that. So that's why I'm like, ideally, you kind of feel something like that from the beginning, you know. Like I guess in genuine interest, or if you passively say something, they're like, oh no, don't just brush by that. Like tell me about what happened, and that's kind of like the thing. It's like okay, establishing that kind of trust and stuff like that. But yeah, 100%, what you said is 100% right. So I definitely feel that, perceive that. So ooh, learning some things today.
turned into a therapy session.
I mean, yeah, this is good, man. Um, okay. So I think the next one kind of leans into this same sort of thing, and it's like just being kind, just like being kind. And I think this is definitely towards the top, if not the top. Like, I mean, I can't tell you how many girls I've seen like, oh, like she's super attractive. And then I'll see like an interaction she has with someone that's not me or even is with me sometimes. And it's just like, yo, like that's really not nice. That's not cool at all, bro. I just tore this man's head off for like nothing or something like that. And it's like, I've seen it, I won't say, I hate to say so often, but it's honestly been a lot. Like, where like these women are like, okay, like someone's asked them something slight or something does something a little bit wrong, like, and it's like this huge thing, right? And it's like, okay, like, but if you did that same thing, would you want them to react that way? Would you not think that's overkill? Like, like, and I'll give an example. Like, I was in the store the other day, and a lady was actually trying to do something really nice. Like trying to do something really nice. She was trying to pay for something. This is like Dollar Tree. She's trying to pay for this guy's stuff, like something, a few things, $5, whatever. And she said, "Oh yeah, I'll pay for his stuff." But the dude had like stepped out of line or whatever, so he wasn't like aware that she was doing this. So he comes back and just sees her like shuttling his stuff. So he's like, "Hey, like, what's up with this?" And she like goes off. She just goes the freak off on him.
Mm.
And he's just like, I mean, I was just trying to like I just seen you just move taking my stuff. Like I didn't know like what was going on. And like, he tries like apologize and stuff, and she's like, it doesn't matter. At this point, she's gone, you know,
Mm.
and she's going off on this dude. And he just like leaves his stuff, just goes. He just goes, like he just goes. He's like, all right, forget it. Like, oh, but need the stuff that bad. And it's like, stuff like that is like, okay, like instead of immediately reacting like getting upset or like reacting like as negatively as possible, like give someone the benefit of the doubt that you would probably want. It's like, okay, this maybe would be kind of weird situation if I seen someone just taking my stuff, you know, in the middle of a line and I just came back to line. It's like, oh, why is this person just moving my stuff, whatever, you know. Again, maybe that's not again, the guy probably has a little bit of could have done some of that same thinking, like not thinking worst case scenario in that situation. But like in general, I've seen situations like that where like, genuine accidents, like drops something, spills something, bumps into somebody, or just asks someone for simple things like directions or where store is, or where something is where something is in the store or something like that. And it's just like, supreme attitude. And it's just like that is like the least attractive thing ever. Like, or like you're just mean to someone like a server or something like that. Oh, because they're like serving you, like you have dominion over them in their life. And like if they do anything that you don't like in the slightest, that they deserve to get, ripped to shreds. And it's just like, you know, okay, there's a time and place for everything. Like there's a time and place to stand up for yourself and to speak up for yourself. I agree for sure. But like I think it's just certain moments where I've seen that where it's just been like a lack of understanding and being like, okay, reasonable with another human. And it's like that is just super unattractive. Just be kind. Be kind, people. Be kind.
That's definitely a good one. And yeah, I mean, again, you try to have these like really human interactions with people, and for some reason, like that's not what you get a lot of the time. And again, like I'm sorry that I'm about to go into this Charlie from It's Always Sunny level like conspiracy right now, but like I think the intersection between some of these, some of your preferences, but like in general, like some of I want them to be like very like emotionally like you know connected. I want them to be like they should probably have some amount of like social activity, right? And I want them to be like healthy, and I want them to be like this, and then I think you end up getting to this personality that I think ends up making them into this like, and social media probably is a big play here, but like it ends up turning them into this like kind of like, oh well, I can get a, it's almost like if we were to take this podcast outside all the time, right? It's like, oh, I can get that soundbite, right? I can get that soundbite. I can make someone react how I want them to react, and then that's good for me, right? So then yeah, you'll get this direct amount of like meanness and attitude, but only because I think what they're trying to get is that reaction from you in the way that they want it to be, right? So it's like, yeah, I think in most cases you're gonna like, oh, like let's say, I mean, I think you've told a similar story about like, oh, shooting your shot at for a woman one time, right? And getting a backlash that's so harsh, and it's like, oh well, you know, there's no amount of information that was given to me previous. So you're saying you're acting in a way that like I knew something, or you know what I mean. But then I think the main thing is just like, no, I want you to react like this. I want you to feel like this every time you see me. You know what I mean? Or like now every time you interact with another person like this, I want you to feel this way. And I'm like, that's pretty bad. And I think again, this goes back to like having an opinion on everything, and like, in this kind of like nihilistic person that you turn into when like
Right.
you're so tapped in that it's just, you're almost not human anymore. And that's a problem. That's definitely a problem. But again, like also what Alonso was saying is like that's also how society's getting nowadays, right? It's like,
Yeah.
I mean, who's not on Instagram? I'm not, but who?
Right.
It's just like, I don't know. It's hard for you to definitely see, get that direct amount of like, this is a kind person, period, right?
Yeah.
Anymore, I think. Like, I don't know. It's going to be hard to determine too, right? Like, how do you like first
Yeah.
date? Are you gonna be able to like how many dates do you have to go in with somebody to determine whether they are kind, to especially
I don't know.
to other than you, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's big for me, where it's like this person, like, and I can say like my previous girlfriend, super kind to me, but soon as there's a social interaction with anyone other than me, like stranger interaction, it's almost always was going to be like pretty vicious. And I'm like, but it was like, and I loved her for it because I thought it was also hilarious. But like, but still, it was like, this is like
Enabler. It's enabler.
but I'm saying still, like, I mean, and other than like trying to be funny, but like, yeah, how are you gonna determine this thing? I don't know. What would you say, Alonzo? Sorry about my rant.
That was a lot.
Sorry.
I was just going to keep it nice and short that being kind is kind of like I don't know, the key trait of being a human being. Like, if you can't be kind, then what are you doing with your life? I don't know. It doesn't take much effort to be kind. We're all humans. We all cry tears. We all bleed red. Hopefully we all bleed red. I don't know. Maybe some medical conditions. But anyway,
You should.
we're all in the same race. We share a lot of the same values, so we should be caring for our other people and being kind to each other. So I would hope that somebody I find as a partner be kind. So I couldn't do it if they weren't kind. So I think Matt is being perfectly reasonable, not crazy at all. They got to be kind.
I mean, even thinking about like starting the relationship, right? Like the first interaction almost is a kind thing that's happening. I mean, I don't want to say it like that. Like, yeah, no, they're not like they're not an act of charity. But I'm saying like it's a it's a mutually agreed right. Like oh yes, I want us to experience this together, right? Yeah. Like that's a kind thing. And yeah, so I think it almost like is a requirement basically for all relationship, but I agree that there's also probably plenty of not kind people. And and what do you do in that situation? I have no idea. Like literally it's just like, yep, this is the one I date and she's a fucking asshole.
I promise you I've met it, dude. I promise I have met them.
I have no idea what you do there.
I promise, dude. I promise I've met them. Like you said, maybe they're only nice, but even to their significant others, at least in front of other people, they are not nice.
Yeah.
And I'm like the way there's talk, the way they'll act, and I'm just like, yo, is anyone else seeing this? Like, this is crazy. Like, is she really talking to this man like that, or is this man really talking to her like that in public? Yeah. Like, this is wild. Like, seriously. Like I'm telling you.
And it seems like they will want the opposite back to them too, right? Or at least from what I've seen like online and stuff. Right. It's just like, oh no, you like that girl on Tinder that you said one time, right? Like high maintenance, right? Treat me, and I will give you nothing, right? I like that's not my that's not part of my job is to give you my kindness. No, right. But you have to treat me with kindness and respect. That's crazy.
Right.
Insane.
And but that kind of goes in. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I was just saying that would be probably a good one to end on, and maybe we come back to this another time.
Okay.
Or you want one more?
No, that's fine. Like, I don't know how we're doing on time, but
tease us with the next one.
I'll give y'all a tease with the next. I think the next one it kind of goes into some of all of that, and I think it's like you have to add something to my life.
Oh wow!
What is the point? And I can hear women now like, oh, you want to have sex, don't you? You want to blah blah. Look, let's be real, man. We can get along pretty far without it. It may be ideal, but I'm just saying I'm not a dude that's gonna go into relationships strictly because I want some sex. Like that's just not gonna happen. Like, so you need to add something of substance to my life. I will go out of my way to make sure that I add to whoever my significant other's life is. Like, I will make sure of that. Like, that's just how I am. But that's how I feel like, if you can't take care of people close to you, how you gonna take care of people, that's far away or that are not directly related to you, So, and that's my job. So I think like that's a big one. Now we can end on it. We can think about it.
Yeah, Alonso, I want to hear what are your feelings on this already?
That is a deep topic. I need some more time to think. I'm sorry.
Like, I'm saying like I think that if you're gonna say like it's so hard to disagree with you, but also like I don't know, like kind of agree with you. Like I think I get the sentiment that you're saying here, but I do not like the way that you're saying it. Like saying like you're adding to my life, saying like you know what I mean. Like you as a person have to do this for me. You have to make my life better. You know what I mean? That's the worst way to say this.
What? How else am I supposed to say it?
I'm just saying. It's like that's your job as my partner is to make my life.
That's all we're doing. Our jobs. Our jobs are to make each other's lives better.
I definitely get the sentiment. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I appreciate what you're saying. We both are in this like trying to just do good for each other. I get it, but saying that almost like that it's a requirement to then look back at my life and be like, okay, well, did this person add value? No, you're not adding value to my life. I have to get you out of here. Sorry. Like what? What? Yeah, I don't know.
What is the point?
I
What
don't
is the point then? What is the point? Like, Lee, what is the point then? You're just in a relationship for the relationship then. Just to be in a relationship.
I,
If you're in if you're in a relationship and no one's adding anything to each other's lives, you're just there for the sake of either physical, which is fine. If that's what you want to do, I don't care. That's totally up to you. But for me, that's not what I want to be in a relationship for. But if that's what people want a relationship for, that's totally up to them. That's fine. Everyone has their own preferences. That's what this is called, my preferences. But again, for me, like what is the point then? What is the point? Like,
I
there's
mean,
no point. I'm
if
just be on
you
my
two
own, you know?
have a connection both physically and emotionally, right? Does that automatically add value, like some amount of value to your life? Is that you know what I mean?
Yes,
I'm
yes,
like
it does.
maybe if that's how you're putting it, right? But if you're saying
How-
like something has to be done to add to my life's value, right? Like you
okay,
like
I'm not
that
talking
because
like
that
financial
no,
or
no, no. I'm
like
not. I'm not saying that. I'm
like
just saying like you have to do something for me. Is what it sounds like you're saying, which is not the same as we have a connection and we're just melding, right? Like we're we do things together. We do and we experience life together as a partnership, and it's good together. Period. Right? Like I just
okay, okay. No. But again, you know what? You said yourself, long term longevity. That okay? That's cool. That's a friendship, isn't it? That's a friendship. That's just a friendship. We can do that as friends, and that's fine. I'm talking about as a relationship, right? Like relationship preferences. Like,
yeah.
yeah, if that's a friendship, cool. We just vibing, whatever. We cool. That's awesome. But like at the end of the day, like, like we should be bringing something to. I'm not like I said. It's not as be financial. And I'm saying if it's emotional connection, and you're like a confidant for me, like I can trust you with anything. You're a person I can go to for sound advice. You're a calm mind. You're a person that just brings peace to. Oh my god! If you're a person that brings peace into my life, bro, you're not a girl that causes issues or causes chaos or brings in chaos from outside places or looks for drama and negativity. And that adds to so much
Mm.
to a life. If you are a person of peace and become a place of peace for some, dude, that by itself adds it's immeasurable, dude. For I'm gonna say this straight. I'm gonna say this straight. For a black man in America to have a place of peace and that be a woman, that is invaluable. Invaluable.
I think like I said, I understand what you're saying. I think
Okay.
I think in terms of like 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 it's almost like the love language thing, right? Like I think you guys already everyone kind of
Yeah,
heard
yeah,
about
yeah,
that, but it seems like
yeah.
it's almost like act like gifts, like like or acts of kindness, right? Like that's for me what you're saying. It's like there has to be acts for for then this relationship to work, and I'm like acts is not
Yeah.
always right, but I guess in general like that's gonna happen, right? It's like to say that that's never gonna happen in a relationship would be weird to say, right? It's like it's like you're in a relationship with this woman and you've never done anything kind to for each other, like that. Yeah, that's fucked up. But I just didn't like the way that you said it.
I just don't know. Okay, okay.
Bring
Because I want to
value
leave.
to my
I want
life.
to leave it. I want to leave it broad because it can be other things too. Like it can
Right.
be other things. It can be like, oh, you bring like knowledge of finance, of like of realty, of stocks, of things like that. You bring historical knowledge into my life of things like African
You
American
bring my
history and things
children
like that.
into my
I
life.
mean,
Oh yeah, there you go.
I mean, I'm stuck with you then. Nah, but I mean, but again, in reality, like though, like it's so many levels to it, so many different levels. Like if you, like I said, you just bring overall like a great person into my life, like super kind, super sweet. Person always listens. I can always count. I know you're gonna pick up the phone. You're super reliable. Like that. That's again like those sorts of things. Like, and then on an emotional, relationship, romantic level, then we on another thing. That's always the next step, and you need to have that too. But like if it's like this baseline sort of thing that we don't have, then it's like you can't build if you have no foundation. That to me is like part of the foundation.
Do you think that friendships have this same kind of thing? Like you're expecting your friends to also add some value to your life.
I think you should for good friends.
Hmm.
Like if you think someone's a good friend, I think you expect them to add something to your life. But again, like I said, it's all kinds of variability in that.
Hmm.
That or you simply like sometimes it's just that you also just want to add something to their life, and you know that just by you doing that will also just like will kind of add to your life by adding to their life, sort of thing. I know it's kind of weird to say, but like, yeah.
Well, Alonso, any closing ideas? Any closing thoughts?
Any closing thoughts? Man, such a I feel a heavy thing to ask for somebody, you know? Can you provide something to my life? Can you add something to my life? I don't know what to say to that. If I had a partner, like I'd just be happy that you're there. Like your presence is your present. Like that's your gift to me. Like
Get that on
I don't
shirt.
know.
Is that a shirt? Is that someone said that before? That had to
Yeah,
be.
someone's definitely said,
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Don't
too
give
your
too much
present.
credit.
Oh my
Don't give too much credit.
I've never heard that for some reason.
You've never heard that?
Never
This
heard
man's
that.
under a rock.
Really?
I'm
You
under
don't
a
watch
rock.
TV, obviously.
This
No,
man,
I don't.
this man. I'm gonna get this man out more.
Present.
Not to-
Present.
Clearly.
Come on.
Clearly, I gotta get this
Come
man out more.
on.
I mean, Alonzo has been dropping gems today,
Mars.
though. He's been dropping
Yeah.
gems today.
Yeah.
Man is shining right now, dude.
Oh Lord. No, definitely not. But yeah, I just don't know what to say to that. I feel like you alone is enough for me. But Matt sees differently.
Thank you. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely am feeling what Alonso's saying. I like, I don't know, and again, we're saying this and not knowing what like a great relationship feels like, right? So then it's like, okay, if a great relationship, if a normal relationship, right, is you're doing, you guys, like I said, emotional connection, you're doing things together or whatever. If there is no, what you're saying, like no added value to your life, would that even last in terms of a relationship? Probably not, right? So I don't know. Like if you guys aren't working to something together, right? If you guys aren't like evolving as people, like then it's kind of like not really a good point to stay. But I don't know. I probably have seen more, relationships where they do stay. Even
But they
even
stay.
so,
They stay just because most people don't want to be alone, and
right?
that's just the, people hate to be vulnerable, especially with more than one person. Like, so they're like, well, I already kind of have this person. They're here. I'm used to it. Let me just stick with this, even if it's not ideal, because what comes next could be even less ideal, or what comes next could be even worse. It could just be me by myself, because there could be no next, and that's what they're really, really scared of. And again, I think when people and I think that's a natural fear because I think people as a society, and we talked about this, people as a society were made to be together, which again, I think we have to talk about social media in an episode, but my issue with like kind of social media and some of that, the repercussions of that, and people not being actually as united and open and social in like actual social settings now, or even in public in general, and it's just but that like I said, that same sort of feeling of like the reason why social media flourishes, that same sort of feeling of people not wanting to be alone. Social media kind of fills that void for people of like, oh, I don't want to be alone. And I think, like again, people just end up sticking in relationships for so long because they're like, well, it's not an ideal relationship, but I'm not by myself. You know, I can at least, kill the noise a little bit because I have something here, rather than going and being like, okay, let me see, trying to work on myself for one, which is again scary for a lot of people, just trying to admit their own flaws and work on them, and including myself for sure. But I've done a lot of soul searching, deep diving into myself, and that's kind of why I'm like this and why I have these preferences or whatever. And then it's like, again, like, but do you again want to do that? And then to want to do that by yourself also. That's another thing that's even scarier to then go through these things, these realizations, and there's no one there to like, help you kind of pull through or help you to kind of realize it or figure it out or work through it, but with you, that's even scarier. So like I said, I think a lot of people do that and they end up staying in these relationships out of fear. And I don't, and again, I don't want I just speak to myself again. I don't want to ever be in a relationship based off of fear. I want to be there. Not to feel like I need to be there or I'm scared to not be there, but to really want to be there. And then, have that just evolve into a more and more stronger feeling of wanting it so much that it almost becomes a need. It's not necessarily a need, but it almost becomes a need because of how much you want to be there and how much you want it. Like, yeah, that's ideal. Whatever. Again, I'm an idealistic person. I'm probably a too optimistically hopeful person about certain things, and this is for sure one of them. I blame anime, but it is what it is, and I don't think I can really change this about myself. But you know, the world is what it is, but I still think at the end of the day, it doesn't really affect the way I go about my life and the way I do things. I still try and be a good person, spread good, and all that stuff, and just hope that you find someone that wants to do kind of similar things in the world, and you make a connection, whatever along the way. But at the end of the day, whatever you do what you love, do it with people you love, and stay close to people you love.
And on that note, probably time.
Yeah.
For some extra time.
Some extra time. I hear extra time. All right. So do a sharp turn into the world of sports. Today I'm going to be focusing on the NBA. NBA playoffs started today. We had the Philadelphia 76ers defeat the Brooklyn Nets. We had the Boston Celtics defeat the Atlanta Hawks. We had the New York Knicks defeat the Cleveland Cavaliers. And currently, right now, the Golden State Warriors are handing it to the Sacramento Kings. As expected, yes. But I wanted to talk about the Dallas Mavericks yet again. The team I like to dunk on because of Kyrie Irving. Last week, the final game of the season, they pulled all their starters, healthy scratches, to tank, essentially. They wanted to get themselves the best draft pick in the draft. Right. So they can potentially get the best player, whose name is Victor Wembanyama, French player. He's a unicorn / alien / monster, essentially. He's 7'4". He can shoot. He can dribble. He can dunk. He rebounds his own shots from the 3-point line. He's incredible. His highlights are amazing. So they tanked the game. They lost intentionally to give them better odds to draft him. So they were fined $750,000 for that. I mean, the owner, Mark Cuban, is a billionaire, so that's a drop in the bucket for him. But still, I want to talk to you guys about the fans' standpoint. How would you feel going to a game you paid money for, and they sat their starters, their best players? You wanted to see Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving. You want to see all the other players, and they are not at the game. Like, I felt this before. I went to a Lakers game in LA, and Kobe Bryant wasn't even on the bench. He stayed at home. And the very next game he played in. So I was like, I missed out on Kobe Bryant playing before he passed. I'm just like, I'm so sad. So how would you guys feel about missing out on star players? Robert, for you, this is like you're going to see the Kings of Comedies 2, and they bring out Carrot Top or some failed comedian from the Funny Bone. Like, how would you feel?
Oh my God, Carrot Top.
I mean, that sounds awful. Yeah, especially with no warning, right? Like,
right?
If there's obviously no warning, then that's fucked up. You deserve honestly, you deserve a refund, right? But like,
for sure.
I mean, if it's something that I don't know, like it's kind of like, hey, we're all discussing this strategy, and if everyone agrees, then and knows about it pre-game time, like, is it really that bad to, like, I'm not a sports guy, so I don't know. What do you say, Matt?
Man, I'd be livid, bro. I'd be hot. Dude, do you understand, bro? I'm definitely gonna have to do something stupid in this game, like just to get my money's worth, bro. I'm gonna have to jump onto the court. I'm gonna have to go get a hug. I'm gonna have to get a jersey, something like that. Like, I need something to make this game worth it.
He said, "Put
Like,
me in if you play it
right?
these
Oh
niggas.
yeah, you playing scrubs? Give me.
Put me
I'm
in."
gonna give you. I'm gonna give you 3. I'm gonna miss terribly, but I'm gonna get my shot up though. Like, no, like seriously, like that is bull crap. Like, I absolutely agree. It should be at least like a refund or something, like free pass the next game, something like that. Cause like, people take off work, people travel from other countries, people, use their life savings to get like court side seats or something like that. Like, this is like big, like, big deal for a lot of people that don't get this chance and opportunity to do it a lot of times. And that is just like, and this happens in all sports. There's all sports, there's players that get rested. You know, in soccer, there's teams that, okay, this game doesn't matter that much, so we're gonna rest these players or whatever. But again, you buying tickets at the beginning of the season, you don't know that. You don't know that, they don't need this game and that they're going to rest players. So you bought the ticket that you're in, but that's your only ticket you can afford or whatever. You just out of luck. And it's like, even worse, like I said, if you're coming from somewhere out of the country, out of the state, you know, very, very rare day off you get of work or something like that. And it's like, well, that's just that. Like, this chance is like gone for maybe a lifetime or at least a year or something like that for a lot of people. And it's like, that's just not right. Because yeah, again, as the multi-millionaire owner, maybe multi-billionaire owner, what difference does that make to you? To refund a couple of tickets? Nothing. That does nothing to your bottom line.
Mm.
That literally does nothing to you, but it would speak volumes, and it would also be, I mean, I'm sure extremely appreciated and go a long way for fan loyalty if you were to do something like that for, I mean, at least for the people. I mean, I know it's kind of hard to say like these people need it or whatever, but like let's put like an application or something online for like reimbursement or application for like, you know, extra tickets or something like that. Something to at least give them like the opportunity, or even if it's like a lottery for like 100 or 200 tickets, free for the people that came to this game. Something to be like, okay, we understand this sucks. We're gonna do something about it to make it not suck so much, because that is kind of effed up that you came to see certain people and you didn't get to see them.
Yeah,
Like,
it's entertainment, right? Like, I mean, this whole reason for the sport, right? Like, it's all entertainment. Can we agree? But like,
yeah,
so you get here and you're trying to experience this entertainment in its full form, and you can't. Yeah, it definitely ends up being kind of shitty. So, yeah, I mean, I get that. I know that people feel bad, and I know there's probably nothing we could do about it, and they're gonna keep doing it because, I mean, yeah. Imagine they get 7'4" dude, right? Like, what?
right.
Like,
Then everybody's like,
it don't,
well, I'd like to go see this dude next
it's
year.
like, it don't matter, right? It's like, literally, we got that pick and probably paying him nothing, right? In the beginning. So,
well, relatively.
right. Yeah, relatively. I mean, I'm just
Right.
saying, they lost 750 grand, but how much is that guy gonna be worth? Like,
Right.
after first year or whatever. Like, I
Right.
don't
Even
know.
in revenue,
Right.
jersey sales and
Right.
ticket sales,
Right. So,
yeah. I mean, I agree. Like that the whole thing is crazy. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's not gonna stop. They're gonna do it. It's like, I guess you could circumvent it by trying to buy earlier tickets in the season where there's less likely to rest players. But I mean, again, I don't know if those. I've never tried to buy tickets to NBA games. I don't know if those are more expensive tickets
mm,
or whatever else. So it's hard to just say like to give a clear solution. But yeah, it does. It definitely sucks, and I feel for anybody that's happened to, because that, especially like a case like Alonzo, like a dude like rest in peace, Kobe Bryant, but like literally iconic player of our generation, and he passes, and that's your chance. That was your chance.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not trying to rub it in, but that is
like,
like
it was his final season playing too. I just wanted to see him on the bench, and he wasn't even in the stadium.
Yeah.
So
I'm sorry, dude. That just hurts my heart. Like, if that happened, man, I'm be honest, dude. I'm about to be like, somebody need to give me Kobe address, bro. We need to do something. I'm about to go down there, find one of them dudes on the bench, be like, all right, man, I'm about to hop in your trunk. All right, I'm not doing that, but I mean, yeah, you gotta do something. Like, give me a Kobe jersey signed or something, bro. Like, send me one in the mail, something. Y'all know all I like to do is that dude could just be signing them junks right before the warm up, real quick. You know what I'm saying? Or right before practice. That jersey that could cost $20 really to make. We pay 100 for them. Cost like $20 to make. Man, that number like $20 worth of effort. And you can send it to me. That'll make the whole thing worth it. But again, I digress. There's always things they could do that I think would go a long way to fan loyalty, fan appreciation, and just being a good human being. But will they always do it? Again, being a good human is not as common as we kind of wish it was. So,
and I apologize to Carrot Top for the stray, but that's all I have for extra time.
Because I know he's listening.
Yeah, he's listening. All right.
Oh gosh. All right. Well, I guess that kind of closes us out. Thanks again for listening, guys. Thanks for procrastinating with us. And that kind of concludes Procrastination Podcast today. We out. Peace.